our family health. I, Pastor Maxwell Williams, I call on you, come and turn this around for the people. My favorite is in you, like I live in your home, the Lord, I call on you today, come and turn things around. Come and turn
Wherever you are joining from, you are welcome.
Come and turn things around for your children. Another generation things around. I follow your tomorrow now. United Nations judgment and settle community, which is only back at Chineke and I told her they
Wherever you are joining from, once again, I welcome you. Thank you for joining us in this very segment of our broadcast. I am Pastor Maxwell Nawe. This is a very important issue in our hands today. This has become the fate of so many Nigerians, those that went out on the 25th of February 2023 to vote for their preferred candidate to hopefully emerge as the president of the country. But unfortunately, a great percentage of them were disappointed because their preferred candidate did not emerge as the president of Nigeria. A lot of Nigerians today are not finding it easy to feed themselves and to feed their families. A lot of families are in serious hardship, and I don't think that the end is anywhere very, very soon, because of when you look at certain things, the indices that should guarantee that very soon things are going to change for the better, the indices, the analysis, and the data are actually nothing to write home about. People are right now depending on the grace of God to see them through and their families. Those that cannot be able to stand the pressure that hardship and hunger has put on them, they have taken laws into their hands. Some of them have thrown away their integrities and good morals. Some of them have become scammers, thieves. There is the increment of prostitution as a result of the hardship in the country. There is the increment of different kind of social vices, cultism, armed robbery, scamming, and all whatnot. In order to escape hunger, the bite of hunger is very, very strong, that the Nigerian people can no longer contend, can no longer accommodate the pain it inflicts on them. When the righteous is in power, the people rejoice. But when the wicked is in authority, is in power, the people mourn. When you look around Nigeria, as I sang in my song, what you see today is reproach. We know that Nigeria has never been better. From the inception, we know there are good old days, as they told us. But when you still compare it with other countries, be it African countries, or other countries that came into existence the same time that Nigeria did, you still find out that Nigeria was lagging behind, even in the good old days of the country. As I said seconds ago, Nigeria has never been better, but Nigeria has never been worse as this. Yes, that is the fact. Nigeria has never been better. From its colonial creation, the colonial master that created this country, Nigeria, British, from the time that Britain created this country, more than 100 years ago, the country has never thrived. The country has never thrived. But the country has never been as worse as this, as we have it today. Many people can no longer afford their children's school fees. Many children are now in the house. You now have more out of school children today than you had before. Nigeria has become worse in every ramification, in every live wire that makes it a country. If you talk about education, it is worse. You talk about power infrastructure, it is worse. You talk about security, it is worse. You talk about corruption, it is worse. You talk about whatever you mention when it comes to the live wire, the cardinal, the major pillars that sustains a country, or the indices that show that a country is doing well. Nigeria as of today is 0.00. There is no good news anywhere apart from individual progresses, apart from individual attainment of success, individual, which is not, when you put the records together, you have fewer individuals who are actually making it or climbing the ladder of success today than you had some years back. Because those who are resident in the country and those whose businesses are headquartered here in the country or domiciled here in the country, they are not finding it funny. You must understand as well that so many multinational companies have left the country because of the nosediving economy of Nigeria. This should be the primary concern of the government in power. This should be actually what the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu should be concerned with, trying to put food on the table of the masses. Believe you me, if you are able to put food on the table of the masses are going to go about their normal businesses. They wouldn't even care so much about what the government is doing, the policies of the government, in as much as if they go out every day, they come back home with food on the table. Their children, those of them that are family people, their children have something to eat before they go to bed. They have something to eat before they go to school. When it is time to pay the children's school fees, they have the money. The workers receive their salaries as at when due, promoted as at when due. The students are in school. Those in the higher institution, there is no interruption of their academic calendar for the year. They go back to the lectures, they go back to school. Lecturers are paid. Believe you me, doctors are paid. The hospitals are equipped, even if it's not to the finish, but at least 90% equipped of the best and modern facilities to afford healthcare and quality healthcare delivered to the people. Believe you me, the way Nigerians are, they are not going to protest. They are not going to say nothing about the government. They will just concentrate on their businesses. The entrepreneurs, the same. They will concentrate on the businesses if there is power supply without running fuel. Fuel is at a normal pump price, and they can afford it in case of power outage. Nigerians, the way they are, the way, not really the way they are, the way that bad government has reset their mindset, the way that bad government has influenced their thinking and reasoning. I am telling you what they're going to do if all these are put in place. But today it is worse. It is worse. And anyone that is telling you otherwise is either a sympathizer to a dysfunctional system, is either an accomplice, is either a partner in crime, is either a supporter of undemocratic policies and non-human oriented policies of the government of the day. Or the person is just, I don't want to say anything before the camera, but it is not patriotic and it is not in solidarity with the victims of this type of dysfunctional system. And I think it is inhuman and it is insensitive on the part of such person that chooses to tell you otherwise what I am telling you today. It is unfortunate. Agriculture, more food price hike, more food price hike in Nigeria, despite 1.25 trillion naira agric budget, despite 1.22 trillion naira agric budget. This is not 1.2 billion, not 1.22 billion. This is not 100 billion. This is not 500 billion. This is 1.22 trillion naira agric budget. 1.22 1.25 trillion naira agric budget. Where is the money? Where is the money? Where have they taken it to? In whose hands is this fund? The budget. The budget has been released. The budget. This is June going to July 2024. The budget has been released to the Ministry of Agriculture. 1.25 trillion naira. It has been released. Where is the money? Why are people still going to bed starving? Why are Nigerians starving? Why? You now have more beggars in the street than any time in this country. Why? Corruption. And this is exactly how the British, believe it or not, they continue to bear the major part of the blame, because they put up this very constitution or this very contraption together. They influence the constitution to make sure that this country never strives. And since then till now, they have not left their tentacles. They are still deepening their tentacles, more especially after the Brexit, during the administration of the former Prime Minister of British, David Cameron, during the Brexit, followed by Theresa May, when that very vote and that very referendum was finally implemented and the British people voted to exit the European Union. The Brexit has made Britain more frustrated that they continue to deepen and spread more of their tentacles in Nigeria, trying to strangulate the country, the remains of the country, trying to suffocate it and make sure it goes into extinction. And this is why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has been shouting and clamoring for the independence of Biafra, that Biafra may go its separate ways to develop their nation at their own pace. Those who are comfortable with a dysfunctional system such as Nigeria should continue with the country. The Oduduwas are championing the cause for the Oduduwa nation. We don't know where the Hausas stand. We don't know where the Hausas or the Middle Beltons stand. Sometimes we hear that the Middle Beltons want to join forces with the Biafran agitators, to be part of the Biafra Republic. But we don't actually know where they stand. But for sure, the Biafran people are more serious, more eager to have their independent state, to have their own republic, basically to go back where they used to be and how they used to be so many years ago before the British came. That is the truth, that they may be able to develop at their own pace. And those that love the corruption in the country and those that love Nigeria should continue with Nigeria. Those that are now writing in support of the government, they should continue with Nigeria. Nigeria will not come to an end as an entity, because after the exit or the exodus of the Israelites from the land of Egypt, Egypt did not shut down as a country. When Pharaoh and all the host and the best reserve and the best chariots and horsemen of Egypt, simply put, the best military might of Egypt, as they drowned in the Red Sea, that did not stop Egypt from becoming a nation. Till today we have Egypt. So if Biafra exits Nigeria, Nigeria will remain. Nigeria will still be. Those of you that love the passport of the country, you can still continue to use it. Those of you that love how the constitution of Nigeria is put together, how Nigeria is functioning, you are so happy. And you say, oh, nobody should disintegrate or divide our country. Our country is going to be better. Why not allow those that want to go? Let them go. Let them release Nnamdi Kanu. What crime has he committed? And those that love Nigeria, let there be referendum. There are still those that love the country. They are going to vote. So let the referendum take place and let the people decide. And those that want to continue with Nigeria, let them continue with Nigeria. Nigeria is still one of the African nations. Okay? The independence of Biafra is not going to bring an end to the existence of Nigeria. It's not possible. You will still have your constitution. You will still have your army. You love your army, the military, the way they are, and everything. Good and fine. But this very country has become a threat to the prospect of the Africa as a continent. This is what you must understand. Agriculture, more food price hike in Nigeria despite 1.25 trillion naira agri budget. I'm going to bring it to the screen, but I want to give you some detail before I do, because I don't want the audio, or should I say my voice, to be disconnected as a result of the screen sharing. I'm going to go a little bit into the detail of this very news item. It is coming from trackingtimes.co. When I do, I am going to also bring it to the screen in case my voice is disconnected through the system, not my system, but technical issue from wherever it is coming from. You must have had a few detail of the news item before it comes to the screen. So this is it. The sustained hike in food items prices in the Nigerian market, and the fact that it is readily available makes no sense of the over 1.25 trillion naira federal budget approved for the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in 3 years to manage the sector. The Nigerian farmers and other stakeholders have pointed out that the corresponding relationship between food prices and the federal budget for agriculture was not significant. They wondered why food prices had continued to rise daily in the country despite being available. Yes, the food items are available in the market, but they are not affordable. They are there in the market, but the citizens, when they go to the market, they cannot afford it. When you went to the market yesterday, or if you went to the market yesterday or 2 days ago, and you bought a rubber of garri, for instance, for 6,000 naira, that is the current price they're selling, about 6,000 naira. I don't know if there's reduction, in the price right now. And then you goes back to the market after 2 days of buying the same rubber of garri, 6,000 naira. You'll be shocked that the rubber of garri you bought for 6,000 naira 2 days ago is now selling for 6,500 or 6,300, or surprisingly 7,000. You go back the next day, it keep adding. In a week, there is about price changes up to 4 to 5 times in a week. There is no uniform price of any commodity anywhere in the country. There is no price control of any food item anywhere in the country. Bag of rice. We bought a bag of rice in October, and we also bought a bag of rice in December. The bag of rice we bought for 48,000 in October. As at last week or last 2 weeks, it was going for nearly 80,000. Nearly 80,000. What is the percentage in the increment? So the bags of rice are there, but how many can buy them? Bags of beans is how much? How many can buy them? They are there in the warehouses, in the storage facilities of different companies or distributors or entrepreneurs. They are there. Egusi is there in the market, but how many can afford it? More especially the quantity they want to buy in order to make a pot of soup. How many can buy? Crayfish is there. How many people can buy it? Meat is there in the market. Okay? Now, talking about agriculture, they are there. The grain, both the local rice, they're all there. How much is potato? It is there. How much is tomatoes? It is there in the market, but how many can buy? What about fresh pepper? It is there in the market, but how many people can buy it? More especially the quantity they want to buy to make either their stew or whatever they are trying to prepare in their kitchen for the family. And what is the quantity of such items and the prices? And how is it going to? How many days is it going to last for the family? Okay, if you have to buy a fresh pepper, 500 naira, they are no longer shedding 200 naira as at now. Fresh pepper that they used to shed 50 naira, 100 naira, 200 naira. Now the least they are shedding is 500 naira. It is in the market. But how much fresh pepper are you going to buy to make a pot of soup for a family of 6 or for a family of 3? This is not about having so many children in the family. In the days of our ancestors or our grandfathers or grandparents, they used to have 10 children, but they have pepper all over the place. And it's not as expensive as this. They have Gary in the farm. The Fulani herdsmen madness have not increased to this very level that affect food security in the local farms in different states of the country. They used to have their yam, they cultivate their land, they plant the yam, they harvest it. There is enough yam for, in those days, we used to have yam ban. A section in the backyard of a family. For instance, this is a backyard, in a compound. They could line up yam from the other corner of the backyard down to the other corner of the backyard. They will line it up and they will tie yam to all of them. Some of them have a very huge yam band that even curve, in those days. And all the yam band will be safe. Nobody goes there to steal any tuber of yam. Nobody goes there to steal any tuber of yam. It is intact. There is security in the land. In the days of our ancestors, in the days of our grandparents, yam ban is all over the place. Nobody locks the yam inside the store or inside the room or inside the kitchen. They are all left outside at the backyard because there was security. What about cassava? So this is not about having so many children in the family. It's about a dysfunctional system that is called Nigeria and the lack of political will to help the citizens to manage the resources of the country to the advantage and the well-being and benefit of the citizens, for whose interest you are there in the office in the first place. If there is no citizen, there cannot be any government. A leader must have people to lead. Without the people, you are not a leader. You can't be a leader without the people. So they are readily available, but they are not affordable. That is what this news item is saying. I'm going to bring it to the screen very soon. And let me still check that my voice is coming out. I'm going to do so shortly and come back to you. Yes. My voice is coming out. It is coming out. So I'm going to take a few parts or paragraphs of this news item before I bring it to the screen. And I'm afraid so that my voice will not be disconnected. That's why I've not brought it to the screen. So the Nigerian farmers and other stakeholders have pointed out that the corresponding relationship between food prices and the federal budget for agriculture was not significant. They wondered why not affordable, and they keep on rising every day. And on the All Farmers Association of Nigeria raised concerns about the devaluation of the naira, as they explained that this was also a significant factor that had made food unaffordable despite the over 1 trillion naira federal agriculture budget in 2022, 2023, and 2024. The Chamber of Commerce and Industry said on Saturday that the persistent hike in food prices in Nigeria was currently worsening poverty levels across the country, as I explained a few minutes ago. The Chamber of Commerce and Agriculture, they have said it, that the persistent hike, that is the rise in the food prices in Nigeria, is worsening the poverty levels across the country. Nowhere is safe. According to Punch, data obtained from the Budget Office of the Federation indicated that while the total budgetary allocations to the Agriculture Ministry during the 3 years of 2022, 2023, and 2024 were over 1.25 trillion naira, the budget, however, declined consistently on an annual basis. In 2022, the Agriculture Ministry got approval of 71.84 billion naira as personal cost, 3.7 billion naira for overhead, and 386.65 billion naira for capital projects, making a total allocation of 462.2 billion naira. The total budgetary allocation dropped to 426.99 billion naira in 2023, as personal cost was 80.94 billion naira, overhead 4.5 billion naira, while capital project allocation was 341.6 billion naira. There was a further drop in ministry's 2024 budget as its total allocation was 362.94 billion naira, comprising personal cost of 102.1 billion naira. Overhead was 8.1 billion naira, while the capital project was put at 252.7 billion naira. So all of this money accumulated in 1.25 trillion naira within the space of 3 years, and there is nothing good result, tangible, something that people should at least at least be confident that the future is more better for them. Out of this budget, there is nothing of such. Let me still take one or two paragraphs before I bring it to the screen. I know that you are itching to actually see what I'm reading and where I'm reading it from. I'm going to do so. If you are just joining, I am Pastor Maxwell Nawe. So the report continues, but the president, All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Kabir Ibrahim, said the budgets have had little impact on food prices as the commodities have maintained or remained high despite the hundreds of billions of naira budget to the agriculture ministry, whether it is in the state or the federal capital territory, which is FCT. So the prices remains the same, rising every day, both in the 36 states of the country and the FCT, which is the Federal Capital Territory. The prices of food items, foodstuffs have remained so high and continue to increase every day. On why the budget seemed not to have impacted food prices across the country, the AFAN president explained that though there is some level of food availability in Nigeria, the food items were not affordable. They are unaffordable. They are there, but you cannot buy them. You can't go and steal them. If you steal them, the police will quickly arrest you. And in the case of the northern part of the country, you may suffer what is called jungle justice. You should look at food availability and not the cost of food. Yes, there is a relationship that when there is availability and demand, there could be affordable prices. But in Nigeria, I don't think that relationship holds between the devaluation of the naira, which caused so much turbulence in the food prices. Many things are astronomically high based on our income and the value of our currency, which is the truth. The turbulence in our economy today is also due to the devaluation of the naira, he stated. He was asked whether there is food availability in Nigeria currently. He replied, honestly, I had this argument with some people on Good Morning Nigeria on NTA last week, Monday. Now, go to any food market and ask them for food. Yes, go to any food market and ask them for food. The prices are going to send you back to your houses. The prices are going to send you back to your houses. You will find out that there is always food, but it is very costly. Have you searched for any food item and it is not available? Except probably the vegetables now. And this is because most of us don't practice greenhouse farming. But the open production of vegetables and the rainy season are not supportive of that. So you may find a scarcity of tomatoes, peppers, and all that, but this is normal. We have always had it like this during similar periods when there was rain. Otherwise, you can't say that you went to the market and there is no rice, no beans, etc. They are there, but they are very, very costly. So I think at this point, I need to bring the remaining paragraph of this news item to the screen. Hopefully my voice is not going to be disconnected. Or let me take a few more paragraphs. The most important thing is not looking at the news item, but knowing what the news item is saying. Therefore, what we are experiencing is lack of affordability, not lack of availability. That is the difference. We have been talking about attaining food security, and this means that food has to be available and affordable. Once it is affordable for you and me, then it is as good as not there. Kabir, however, noted that the reduction in budgetary allocations between 2022 and 2024 had no significant correlation with the high cost of food items in the market. I don't think there is any nexus between the drop in the national budget and the cost of food, because if you ask yourself, what is the performance of the budget so far? How much of the budget has been released to the agriculture ministry? So the fact, or the federal government is meant to create an enabling environment for the country, though farmers' activities take place in the state and local government. When you look at the budget details, is there anywhere in it where farmers are given money to go and produce food? In the budget, the government itself doesn't have a farm. Also, when you look at this year's budget, we are now in June, and I don't think that we have had up to 15% of the budget performance Ibrahim stated. So I'm bringing it to the screen right away so that you can see this very news item. It is coming from trackingtimes.co. In any case that the screen sharing disconnects my voice, do bear with us. In any case, the screen sharing disconnect my voice, do bear with us. It is now on the screen, and I hope my voice is still coming out. I hope that my voice is still coming out. So that is it. That is it. I think my voice is coming out. So we must continue with the other paragraphs. According to this very president of all Farmers Association of Nigeria, Ibrahim Kabir, he also noted that the total agriculture budget of both the federal and state government must be considered when using budgetary allocations to match food availability and affordability across the country. Ibrahim said, all the states, local government, and the federal government have to work together on the food system to make agriculture work in Nigeria. Agriculture is a rural vocation. Go to the United States. Is there widespread agriculture in Washington, D.C.? It is more pronounced in the rural areas. What about in England? Is it that pronounced in London? So the thing is that we need to look at this issue very seriously. All the states in the federation have to work together to make agriculture work in Nigeria. That is the essence of the Council on Agriculture. That is the essence of this very umbrella body on agriculture. And when they meet annually, they get all the commissions or the commissioners of agriculture to come in, make contributions, and then there is a communique which should contain all the comments and contributions of all the states, so that when you are running a policy, it will be a policy that will be acceptable by all because everybody has contributed. ACCI's President Emeka Obegolu San said the situation was also affecting small-scale business adversely because the basic meals are becoming unaffordable to most citizens nationwide. The Abuja Chamber of Commerce Industries expresses deep concern over the persistent rise in commodity prices, which is adversely affecting small-scale businesses, owners, and escalating poverty levels in the country. The surge in the prices of essential food items such as rice, beans, cassava, flour, tomatoes, pepper, onions, and others have aggravated the plight of the average citizen, rendering basic meals increasingly unaffordable for many households, he said in a statement issued in Abuja. So that is it, basically, this very news item. That is it, coming from trackingtimes.co. And that is to prove that Nigeria is a banana republic where government policies are targeting the interest of the people in order to make it unrealistic, in order to make it impossible for the citizens to reach their full potential. People need to eat first of all before building houses and before whatever higher aspiration they have in their lives. They need to eat, they need to take care of their families, they need to be proud of who they really are and where they are coming from. But unfortunately, a dysfunctional system such as the country cannot guarantee that. And they are still spending 500 million every day that Nnamdi Kanu goes to court, rather than disperse these funds to the agriculture ministry. They have refused. They are keeping Nnamdi Kanu siphoning 500 million each time that he makes appearance in court. And with this, we are bringing the very segment of the broadcast to an end. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.